Hey guys, what's up? I'm in my car eating chicken taquitos out of my birkin. My 7-Eleven home. I was like, taquitos? 7-Eleven is my shit. This is the classic case. You can take the girl out of the trailer park. You can put Cartier glasses on that girl, diamond earrings, Rolex it in a Rolls Royce, but you cannot take the trash out of the girl. I love being trash. I don't look at that as a negative word. I own that shit. I'm beautiful trash. I think trash can be beautiful. So I'm filming this. I'm stress eating is what I'm doing. We'll talk about it probably on the show. Definitely on the show. We had an episode of Dr. Drew planned for a while. So we're going to go to finish it out. It's going to be the final show of the year. Because he gives, you know, it's the H3 crew. So they work for him full time. And obviously he's giving them a break for Christmas and the holidays. I love working. I'll continue it. The main thing I don't want to do is quit the show. He has every right. And I wouldn't have been shocked if he chose to end the show. Ethan does get final say. It's his house, his show, his channel, his wife, his family. He does get final say if the show continues or not, which is like a little scary. I feel like if we were like on Bravo, right? Let's say I was a Real Housewife on Bravo and they incited fights, right? And they push me or whoever for a reaction and it goes too far. Bravo's gonna love it and eat it up and want to continue. But when personal family and feelings are involved, it's a whole different ballgame, and I understand that. It's not the same. We're not on Real Housewives on Bravo, run by Andy Cohen. I did speak on the phone with Ethan and Ela yesterday. Talked about stuff. Like I said, I don't want to talk too much about it because I'm sure we're going to talk about frenemies, but just know I'm very nervous. I don't want the show to end. I don't think it's going to end. I think we're going to continue in the new year. Time apart with anything. Work, relationships, friendships, family. Obviously, boyfriends and girlfriends. It goes one or two ways. You either realize, like, hey, I miss it. This is good. I want this in my life. Or you're like, you know what? I feel so much better not having the toxicity, the chaos. And I'm honestly, like, I'm fine either way. I want more than anything. I never want to quit anything. The worst feeling in the world was quitting Celebrity Big Brother. I shouldn't have done it. I should have stuck it out. Hindsight's always 20/20. So I don't want to leave another good opportunity. You know what else I regret? I'm like, oh, do you though? But yeah. I regret, like, making that video on David and Jason. Like, I thought I had a really good opportunity. Obviously, I love Jason, and I really wanted, you know... This guy's, like, dumpster diving. Okay. He's actually going to do trash, and I should actually find him. And I'm moving. He's dumpster diving, Move with me. So... I really believed we would have gotten married, and that's like all I've ever wanted, right, is to get married. And I love Jason, and then obviously being in David's group was at the time I don't know if it's anymore, was a benefit to YouTube channels and whatever. He's watching me now, and the guy digging through the trash. Not in an unsafe area, but homeless is a big problem here in LA. So if you're thinking of moving to LA, I'm moving out of LA. We're no longer going to be in LA County. Thank God. But anyways, it worked out, and I do believe everything works out the way it's meant to. Like, if frenemies ended, I would be so devastating because I loved it. I do love it, but I know everything's timing. Everything is what comes around goes around. one door closes, another one opens. But I want to ride it out. I like frenemies. I like Ethan. I'm comfortable in the setup and the dynamic. I'm like trying to drive slow, but I also want to find cute lighting so I can sit and relax for a minute. So, oh my god, those taquitos are so good. Anyone who does not like 7-Eleven food, I do not trust you. And I guess all the food is set back. Like, you can't just like grab food like cheese and nachos anymore. Although, can you maybe? Okay, we're in a safe location, and I'm eating the folded chips out of my brother's gonna smell real good in front of me. So, anyway, moving on from that because it's been 10 minutes in a trauma since then. I'll link below our last frenemies of the year. Hopefully it's not for good, but one thing therapy has helped me besides realizing when I'm about to get triggered and how to stop it is letting things go a little easier. I would hold on to so much and like worry. I would worry so much, but it's changed my life dramatically not worrying about something that hasn't happened yet. Potential fights, potential this and that. Like I'm a little bit anxious now, but like I think it's the right amount. And my phone went off. I think it's the right amount of anxiousness. I was anxious all weekend, which made me, you know, feel my episode. I mean, there's no excuse, but I think a lot of people, I see a lot now of borderline people that know about borderline, BBT, therapists, whatever, will explain the behavior. They're not excusing it. And it's not a free pass in life to just, you know, go off on people. Oh, well, I'm borderline, there's this episode. No, you have to manage it and control it to a certain degree. Otherwise, people just won't want to be around you. And that's the ultimate push away from a borderline person. It's why my relationships haven't succeeded in the past. And you gotta learn. With my last relationship, there were so many times I just wanted to like be explosive and make a video exposing him, right? But I held back. I held. And when I say held back, I gained control of an otherwise manic episode. I put myself to sleep. I hid my camera. I went to a friend's house. Like I was doing that kind of stuff to not push and push and push. Push away is what I'm saying, not push him, but push away. And ultimately I did snap. And in my heart I knew that would be, well, I didn't know, I knew. I was surprised when at the time he like was understanding to it. I was like, oh, this is a new thing that someone's understanding to my outburst, but I knew it would be the push away. And even though I didn't want it, I really couldn't control it. It's hard to explain. Like, you're aware, you know it's about to happen. In my heart, you don't want this, you don't want this, and I couldn't control it. It's so hard to explain. It's literally impossible to explain unless you like felt it. You're aware, you know what's gonna happen, and it just goes. And it sucks. Again, not an excuse, and you have to be able to control it, or remove yourself from these situations, or just end the situation completely. So either way, frenemies went. Or could go is understood and accepted by me right now in my sound mind. And in the sound mind, you know, Ethan and Ela, like, they're really good people. Like, they're very patient and nice and sweet and understanding. And I think they're better than most people, without a doubt. I think they're not, like, they don't always, like, they don't see, like, how they're in the wrong. Like, I went back and forth so much with Ethan yesterday. Like, he couldn't see, you know, how he was in the wrong, even a little bit, even the slightest. Let's say I was 95% of the problem. Like, he couldn't see the 5% that maybe he had in it. And I think he does, and he does come around, and he's super patient, and so is Ela. They're very patient and forgiving, and, like, that's a big thing for people with borderline. And this is all new to me. For even to call myself borderline or mental illness, like, it's all very new. I would always say no one diagnosed me because no one diagnosed me properly. People would say I was bipolar, and I wasn't. I would be on bipolar medication, and it really screwed up my chemicals in my brain. like off the deep end. So I never, and so it wasn't until May of last year where I started seeking treatment. And he's like, yeah, you're this. Go to these classes. It was the first time I ever heard of DPT. It was May of 2019. And I was like shook. I was shook. It like changed my world. But it's like a common thing that people know about and go to and, you know, practice. But this is all new within the past year for me. So like, I'm not changing overnight. I'm not claiming to change overnight. But I want to change. I'm self-aware. I need to change for myself. Not change because you can't change, but seek coping mechanisms, practice, learn them, recognize triggers, recognize the episode, and then educate people that are around you when you're going through an episode what to do. Disengage. You know, let it be. Let me be for, you know, a certain amount of time. And it sucks because at the end of the day, yes, people do have to adapt to you. So only certain people can handle that or want to handle that. My family does a really good job of it. My current boyfriend does a really good job of it. Ethan and Ela have been very, and then my best friend, like, when I look at Jeff or Shane, they know my triggers and they would never ever ever trigger me. But again, it's all about people adapting to me, and that's like, a lot of people are like, well, they shouldn't have to, and I agree. People shouldn't have to, or guess, or anything. But being involved with me in any capacity, it's why I don't think I work as much as I could have in the past, or have relationships or friendships. I'm very lucky my family has stood by me through so many bad manic episodes when we didn't even realize that's what they were. I'll always be embarrassed. I'll always hold on to that. I'm working on letting it go. But as of now, in this moment, I'm completely, even with Eli, I'm completely embarrassed. And she said, oh, it's fine. I understood it. Like, I actually like don't care about that part of it, which was the most traumatizing thing to me, that I could be so nasty with my words. And I hate that about me. I hate that about my condition, but I don't want to be that person with a condition, you know? I am, and that's a way to explain me, but I don't want to be that, oh, she's going through an episode, oh, is she, it's good. But I kind of am that, and I'm kind of going with it right now because I've seen so many people like, this is what a manic episode looks like, and like, it's rarely out there. I told David's the only other person who had like control over the way I was portrayed, you know, and there was times I was like, don't put that in, like if it's something too much. And David's vlogs weren't long format like this podcast, so a lot more gets exposed. I'm okay with it. I did agree for it to be out there. It didn't make me look good, which is why I made the follow-up video. I felt embarrassed, and that alone drove me into a manic episode, making all the videos. My breath is gonna smell so bad. I'm ordering Teddy Fresh. That's a big peace offering. I like Teddy Fresh though. I'm sitting in a nice neighborhood right now. A lot of apartment complexes. These are really hot now. I'm getting like spicy. I'm getting spicy, y'all. Why are these chips literally so good? I literally can't stop. On a different note, I was on Barstool Media. They have a podcast called BFFs. It was Dave Portnoy and a guy, a young man named Josh, who I gather is a TikToker. And I really hate being, I don't like to be that person that doesn't know somebody. I should have done my research to know who the co-host was. I guess he's a TikToker. It seems like he's pretty popular. Obviously, he got a podcast on Barstool. I was flattered. He said, everyone here was like, we need to get Trish. She's always like saying stuff and newsworthy, and I was flattered because like sometimes I feel irrelevant. Sometimes I feel like literally no one cares that I'm becoming extinct like so many of the OG YouTubers of my time. And I don't want that. Jenna Marbles left the internet and nobody wanted that. Everyone wants me to leave the internet and I don't want that. I'm someone who doesn't want to be irrelevant. I'm someone who doesn't want to get off the internet. So it made me feel good. Now, right away we started talking about frenemies and Ethan coming for Dave Portnoy. Then we talked about, they gave me a list of YouTubers. Should they be canceled or not canceled? And I was like, oh no. Well, this is when I realized what I was on there to do. Promote myself, promote frenemies, and give the people what they want. I guess people think I'm, you know what it is? Because I am self-aware, but sometimes you don't know how people see you, right? Sometimes I don't know what I am on the internet. Like, am I a troll? Am I a joke? Am I kind of like this fossil that's been around for, you know? Am I cool? Sometimes I'm cool. I feel like frenemies has made me somewhat kind of cool again. It's kind of at times. But someone was like, oh, they want no filter, Trish. And here's the thing, a lot of people tell me that too. Like, people call me like Angel, Jerry. Like, people kind of hate you because you're so free at what you say. You have no filter. You don't hold back. To me, it's like, I don't try and be that person. Like, I think that's just always been me. I just always had an opinion. And like, rightfully so. I think people can have opinions. People are allowed to have opinions on me. I know a lot of people who don't care for me. There's donuts in here. I'm not going to eat all of them right now, but I got donuts and chocolate milk. Oh. I'm just going all ham. It's the holidays, right? So, I was like, okay, they're asking me to cancel people. I'm like, oh no, this is gonna get me in trouble. But screw it. Everyone can have an opinion. If you're a public figure, expect public opinions. Okay. I don't like when people are like, I'm getting death threats. Yeah, I get, like, people say, you know, awful things. It's not okay. I don't condone it, but like, this is like the weird, wild, wild west internet we live in. I want to taste some of this. Oh my gosh, that's so good. I'm gonna have this so, it reminds me so much of Nicole. She drank this on her show. It's so bomb. Yum. Hey guys, I don't know. Wish me luck. I gotta get going. I'm glad to be doing this episode. I'm very like, we talked yesterday and everything was fine, but it's like going back in, it's very much like that TikTok. I was like, hey, how y'all doing? I'm just super awkward. So hopefully it'll be okay. Dr. Drew is on. We're doing a personality test. I'm sure we'll talk about what happened last week. Hopefully Barry, like I said, Ethan and Elam, I do think sometimes they have their faults, but I do think they're actually like good people, very understanding, patient, and kind. They're kind of just normal people who don't care about the bullshit social media world and YouTube world and being, you know, they're very much to themselves, their family. They do their job online, design cool clothes. This is a Teddy Fresh little sweater. I'm nervous. Shit. Check out the podcast, Barstool Sports. Do they have a YouTube? Frenemies, we did a Zoom. Frenemies, no. BFFs, it's called. BFFs podcast. And they do pretty good. Oh, they're doing like highlights. It's so weird. Okay, so they do highlights on their podcast channel, which, if I make the suggestion, I'm no podcast expert. I just kind of leaked on other people's podcasts. I think they should have a highlights channel like Impulsive and H3. And then do their hour-long ones on this channel, because it gets a little crowded. It doesn't look as impactful to see like 27,000 views on a highlight, but 400,000 views relatively new. They had Jake Paul on, got 500,000. Griffin Johnson got they do good. Alex Cooper, okay. I'm very honored. Like I said, I'm happy anyone asks and cares about my opinion. So, it was good. I tried my best. Okay. And there's a weirdo coming where it says, do not park, do park. I'm gonna go. That's when I know it's time. I'm like, you know what? I'm sure it's fine. I'm sure he's completely normal, but my paranoid ass, it just hightails it these days. All right, guys, I'll see you soon. A friend of me is linked below. Last episode of the year. Bye.